Social media scheduling tools can feel like a scam. They promise to save you time and make your life easier, but do they actually deliver on those promises? That's the big question I wanted to answer when I started testing tools like Metricool, Buffer, Hootsuite, and Typefully. By the end of this video, you'll know whether these tools are genuinely helpful or just shiny distractions, and I'll share the strategy I've settled on after testing the most popular options. I've put all the helpful tools that I'll cover in the description, so be sure to click on those to sign up for free accounts and exclusive deals. When I first started researching, I'll admit I was optimistic. I wanted one tool that could do everything I needed: schedule posts across all the major platforms, optimize the timing to maximize engagement, and maybe even analyze my past data to give me insights on how to improve. Like many of you, I turned to YouTube to see what other people were recommending. Metricool popped up a lot in those recommendations. On paper, it seemed like the perfect solution. It works with Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and more. And it even has a calendar feature that shows when your audience is most active. That sounded incredibly helpful to me. I thought, finally, here's a tool that will save me time and take the guesswork out of posting. So I signed up and started testing it. At first, Metricool seemed great. The interface was clean and easy to navigate, which made setting up my accounts pretty straightforward. I started scheduling posts, and for a moment, I thought I had found the holy grail of social media tools. The first big issue came with YouTube Shorts. While Metricool technically lets you schedule shorts, it doesn't allow you to add descriptions or choose a thumbnail. If you've ever posted a YouTube short, you know how important those details are. Without a good description or thumbnail, your video is basically invisible. On TikTok, things didn't get much better. Captions didn't format properly after posting, which made the videos look sloppy. And on Instagram Reels, I ran into constant errors with video size. Metricool kept telling me to resize my videos manually, which felt like extra work for something that was supposed to save me time. When I reached out to their chat support, they said these issues were because of API limitations. Now, I get it. APIs can be tricky. They're the systems that allow third-party tools like Metricool to connect with platforms like Instagram and TikTok. But as a user, I don't really care why something isn't working. I just need it to work. After a week of testing, I realized Metricool wasn't the solution I'd hoped for. Next, I decided to give Buffer a try. Right away, I noticed a difference. Buffer's interface felt more polished and user-friendly. The setup process was smooth, and I appreciated how it pulled in all of my previous posts and displayed them on a calendar. That made it easy to keep track of what I'd already posted and plan ahead. I started testing Buffer with TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts. While it performed better than Metricool in some areas, it still had its own set of limitations. For example, TikTok had the same issues with captions and thumbnails. On Instagram Reels, Buffer was more reliable. It didn't give me the video size errors that Metricool did. But when it came to YouTube Shorts, the same problems popped up again. No option to add descriptions, tags, or thumbnails. One thing that stood out about Buffer was how it handles analytics. Unlike Metricool, Buffer doesn't automatically analyze your past data to figure out the best times to post. Instead, it learns over time based on your activity. While that could be helpful in the long run, it's not very useful if you're just starting out and need immediate insights. Another downside was that Buffer doesn't provide analytics for YouTube accounts. Overall, I found Buffer to be a great option, with some little areas of improvement for what I needed. After Buffer, I decided to try Hootsuite. Hootsuite has been around for a long time and is seen as one of the go-to tools for social media management. Because of its reputation, I was curious to see how it compared to the newer platforms. Setting up Hootsuite was easy enough, but the interface felt outdated in some places. It's clear that the platform has been around for a while. Some features have been updated, but others feel clunky and old. Scheduling posts was relatively straightforward, but it didn't feel as intuitive as Buffer. Hootsuite's limitations were similar to what I experienced with the other tools. TikTok had issues with captions and thumbnails. Instagram had occasional file size errors, and YouTube Shorts didn't allow for descriptions or tags. But Hootsuite did have some features that stood out. It offers detailed reporting, team permissions, and approval workflows, which could be helpful if you're managing a larger team. But for individual creators or small businesses, those features might not justify the higher price tag. Ultimately, Hootsuite didn't feel like the best fit for my personal needs, so I decided to move on. At this point, I started to wonder if the problem was with the tools themselves or the platforms they're trying to work with. Social media platforms want you to post directly through their apps because it keeps you engaged and exposes you to more ads. That's probably why third-party tools face so many limitations due to API restrictions. To test this theory, I experimented with the native scheduling features on TikTok and YouTube. TikTok's desktop app does allow scheduling, and it formatted captions correctly, but I noticed that the video resolution was scaled down, which hurt the overall quality. On YouTube, scheduling shorts was more straightforward. You can upload your video, save a thumbnail, and add descriptions and tags before scheduling. This approach felt more reliable, especially for a platform like YouTube, where details like thumbnails and descriptions are super important for content to perform well. After testing all these tools, I realized that there's no perfect solution. Each platform has its own quirks and limitations, and no single tool can handle everything flawlessly. In the end, I settled on a hybrid approach. For Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn, I use Buffer because it's the most user-friendly option for those platforms. For TikTok, I upload all my videos to drafts on my phone and post them manually to make sure that everything looks right. And for YouTube, I schedule content directly through the native app. Using this strategy, I can plan 2 weeks worth of content in about 1 day. It's not perfect, but it's the most efficient system I've found so far. One tool I found later was Typefully. If you're focused on building a following on X, Typefully is worth checking out. It's simple and effective, and it also works with LinkedIn. What I liked about Typefully was how it auto-saves drafts, which is a small but important feature. Losing work can be frustrating, and this gets rid of that worry. Typefully also helps you focus on writing without getting distracted by other parts of the platform. It offers advanced features like auto-posting and analytics to track your engagement. One thing to keep in mind when you're using any scheduling tool is the permissions they need. To connect your accounts, these tools usually ask for full access, which can feel a little invasive. They all promise not to delete your content or misuse your account, but it's still something to be aware of. The biggest lesson I've learned through this process is that there isn't a single tool that can do it all. The best strategy is to figure out what's most important to you and adapt accordingly. For me, YouTube is the most important platform, so I give it extra attention. TikTok's algorithm rewards frequent posting, so I make sure to format those videos properly. And for Instagram, I've accepted that content tends to have a shorter lifespan, so I don't stress as much about perfection. Finding the right social media scheduling tools and systems takes time, but once you do, it can make a huge difference. Hopefully, this breakdown has helped you get a better understanding of what's out there and what might work for you. Which of these tools have you tried before, and do you have any recommendations? Let me know in the comments, and if you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.